What's up, everybody? Back with another one, and today I want to talk to you guys about the remaster. Now, I know remastering a game can be a touchy subject depending on what game it is and how long ago it was made, but within our little community, within the games that I like to talk about, there are tons of RPGs and fighting games that have been lost on old systems that need some love and attention. So what I want to do today is talk about the ones that have gotten that love and attention that you should be checking out. Now, some of these I'm pretty positive you already know, but some of them you might not know about. So I want to let you know that these things exist so you can scoop them up if you have nostalgic memories of them of your childhood, or if you're a newer JRPG or fighting game fan and you never got a chance to check these games out. And after that, I want to talk about a couple of series I would love to see come back because they are lost on older consoles and they need to be rescued. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first let's start with the obvious game I want to talk about, and that's the Suikoden 2 or 1 and 2 HD remaster. This right here, this guy's available on Switch, PS4, and Steam, and it's a collection of, obviously, Suikoden 1 and 2. Now, this is a fantastic collection because these games have been locked on PlayStation and the PlayStation Network for a very long time. They have not been on modern consoles for a minute. I think like PS3, I don't know if you can buy it on PS4, but PS3 for sure because I had it on mine, I had it on my Vita, and then after that is PS1. Now we're able to get this guy on Switch, PS4, PS5, and Steam, and I highly recommend this collection. They redid the art for Suikoden 1 as far as the portraits and like the UI and everything. It's a great looking game now. And Suikoden 2 didn't get quite as much love as Suikoden 1 did, but Suikoden 2 doesn't need that much love and attention. It just needs to be in your hands. Suikoden 2 is considered one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, and I myself hold it in that high of regard. And I recommend the collection just off the strength of Suikoden 2, but don't get it twisted. Suikoden 1 is personally one of my favorite JRPGs ever, and to be honest with you, it is my favorite Suikoden. That's right, I prefer Suikoden 1 over Suikoden 2. So don't sleep on this collection. It's still available everywhere. If you want to get it digital, that's the easiest way to get it, obviously, but get this in your hands and get to playing. These are two of the best JRPGs ever made. Alright, so the next direction I want to point you in is the Lunar HD Remastered Collection. These are two of the cutest, most endearing JRPGs I've ever played. Such cute love stories, just oozing with style, oozing with personality, and they've both been collected wonderfully in this collection. Now, what's cool about this is that Lunar 2 has not been re-released since the PS1 version. This has been the first time we've been able to get our hands on the second version or part 2 of this game since PS1 days, y'all. They have been neglecting that game for some reason, and I don't know why. But we are here, we are back, and we can play Lunar 2 on current consoles. As for Lunar 1, that's been re-released many times over the years. There's a PS1 version, the PSP version, there's a Game Boy Advance version, but that is it. That PSP version was the last version that came out. Now, thanks to Gun-Ho, we have a way to get a hold of this game for modern consoles, modern systems, and these guys, they actually underestimated the demand for this game and they sold out quickly. But they responded quickly and have been printing more copies of the game since. So you should be able to find a copy of it on PS4 or Switch if you're like me and you want that physical version. As far as digital versions go, I know they exist on Steam. I'm pretty sure they exist on console as well. I would imagine that they do. I don't see why they wouldn't. Everything's out on digital. So go and scoop you a copy if you've never played these games. Go and scoop you a copy if you grew up with these games like I did and you want to unlock that giant nostalgia bomb. I would also like to take this time to give an honorable mention to Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 collection. I personally have never played these games before. I didn't grow up with a GameCube. I wasn't a Nintendo kid. So I didn't have access to either one of these two games. And believe it or not, like a lot of stuff in this video, these games were trapped on GameCube. So if you weren't an emulation head, you weren't playing these games unless you were able to get a hold of original copies on original hardware. But now we are able to get this game on current consoles thanks to Bandai Namco. So if you guys have played these before, let me know how they are. I haven't gotten around to trying it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've never really played card RPGs before, and I hear that's what this is, so I'm pretty excited to give it a shot. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Alright, fighting game fans, don't think I forgot about y'all. You already know what I'm about to talk about. A collection that includes the greatest game, the greatest fighting game of all time, one of the best video games of all time. A collection so nice, your boy had to buy it twice. That's right, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Game Collection. Now this is a collection of almost all the Marvel fighting games, from Marvel Superheroes all the way through Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So yes, Marvel vs. Capcom 1's in there, X-Men vs. Street Fighter's in there, X-Men Children of the Atom's in there, which is the original versus game. And they also included the Punisher beat 'em up game for extra measure. Now this collection is unique in that the majority of these games have not been released since Gen 6. I'm talking like PS2, Xbox, GameCube, like that type shit. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has been stuck on PS2 and Dreamcast for so long. Tournaments for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 were still running on Dreamcast until this collection came out in October of 2024. They were still using Dreamcast to run in MVC2 tournaments. This collection is not only a game changer for people like me who like to just play these games casually, it's a game changer for people who compete. The competitive scene, the FGC, now uses this collection to run tournaments on these games, and Capcom has made sure that these versions are tournament viable. And Capcom in general has always done a great job of collecting their old games. They've been doing it since the PS2 days, and now they have more collections, and more collections of their fighting games, and they've pretty much released every fighting game they've put out up to Capcom Fighting Evolution. All those games back have been re-released, and you can play them all on current consoles. The Street Fighter collection honestly isn't that great, and I wish they would give that an update to bring it up to par with their more recent collections like the Capcom Fighting Collections 1 and 2 and the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, because those three collections are awesome. They all have rollback netcode. You're able to play all those games online with other people, and they are fantastic versions of all those games. And another honorable mention before we close this up for our next section, Tony Hawk 1 and 2. This one's for my skateboard heads out there, man. Now we know these games have been trapped, 1 and 2 have been trapped on PS1. They didn't get any re-releases after that, so now you can get this on Switch, PS4, PS5, and they just re-released Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 on all those same consoles. Now, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is a little disappointing because it doesn't have the story mode. It's basically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 maps adapted to the 2-minute run format, which is kind of disappointing, but at least it's cool that those games still exist. As far as a fighting game series that needs to be collected immediately, like, why the fuck hasn't this happened yet? You see it on the screen. Tekken, Bandai Namco, your old things. Why? Why is there no collection for these games? Why? I don't understand. Like in Tekken 5, you gave us the arcade versions of Tekken 1 and 2, and that's sick. Super sick. But that's it. There's no way to play old Tekken games. Like, I get as like from the FGC perspective, when the new one comes out, you keep it moving, you move to the next game. But that's not everybody's mentality, bro. This game, Tekken 3, is considered one of the greatest fighting game releases ever. Why is it stuck on PlayStation? Why? Put it back out in all its glory with all the extras, with the Tekken Ball and Gone and Tekken Force. Do it, bro. Tekken 2, godlike game. Love this game. My favorite Tekken to play casually. I love this shit. Why is it stuck on PlayStation? Bandai Namco, print your fucking money. Now, let's talk about a series that needs to be released from the vault. And you see it over here. That's right, Wild Arms. You guys remember these games? These games. Yeah, I remember these games. I wish someone out there in game development would remember them too. Wild Arms is a fantastic series that takes place in the Wild West setting, which in and of itself is extremely unique and means a lot to me personally, to be honest with you. My mom loves Westerns, so I grew up watching them all the time. And I would love for this series to see a comeback. I want to be able to play Wild Arms without having to load up my PlayStation or load up an emulator. I just want to be able to put in my Switch cartridge or boot up my Steam Deck, go to Wild Arms Collection and boot it up. That's what we need. Because at the end of the day, emulation is a convenient way to play a lot of these old games again. But so many people are not trying to go through that. And I think it's BS to ask them to. I think that games as a medium need to be preserved and need to be protected. And there needs to be a way to make sure that these things don't disappear. These are works of art that deserve to be cherished, just like art in the Louvre. Video games hold the same weight in my opinion, and they need to be preserved in the same way. Alright everybody, that's gonna do it for me. I appreciate y'all hanging out and listening to me yap about remasters. I just had this on my mind for a long time, so I just jumped on the camera and decided to spit it all out for you. So if you guys hung out to the end, I appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe, leave a comment below with what remasters you want to see and what remasters you want to shout out that I didn't shout out in this video. And remember, I'm talking about everything, bro. What JRPGs you want to see remastered, what fighting games you want to see remastered, what action games you want to see remastered. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.